Hey everyone, Kel, Adam, how are you?
Hello, Sharon. Hello, Kelly.
I love that Adam has started
Jazz
spirit
hands.
fingers.
Yeah.
Jazz hands. Woo!
I feel like he's getting ready for the holidays.
Ooh, you know what? How could he not be? It's flipping cold up here in Canada. I hate to be a cliche.
And Mariah Carey said it's coming, so
Oh,
I
she
guess
did.
it's coming.
Now, here's what's going to happen. We're going to talk about Mariah Carey and link in her obvious fanship of Smashing Pumpkins. Can we get a sound effect for that, please? Ting. Winky wink. And you know what? If ever there were a band that could tell you how it's done and how to do it, it's the four-man band rooted in San Francisco that'll make you want to take their master class. How about this? A fitness class, or a few of them anyways. Will Smith is set to share his journey toward his best self. And we're going to talk about how bad it almost went. Kelly's trivia is going to make you feel good about yourself or not.
Or not so much.
We'll see how you do with that. Also, we'll talk about Scottie Pippen, former Chicago Bulls great, and how unhappy he is with another Chicago Bulls great, and that he's written it all down. And one of the greatest music producers of all time is getting a spot on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So I figured we should start there.
Let's do it.
All right. So let me drop some titles on you guys. Get Your Freak On, Work It, Lose Control. These are just three of her songs. There's also the music of Aaliyah, Mariah, Whitney, Destiny's Child, and a long list that Missy Elliott has her fingerprints all over. So guess what? You can now get your footprints all over her. I've been dying to make that connection of fingerprints and footprints all day. She is the one that's getting her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Kelly, you happy about that?
Oh my goodness. It was such exciting news to find this out because actually I thought she already had it. I totally was thinking she was already there. So this is amazing news for all Missy Elliott fans. And my only sadness is that I don't believe Janet's going to be there because I think she's still over in the UK. And this is obviously going to happen in Los Angeles. So not that this is a bad thing, but Sierra and Lizzo will be on hand to help present the star to Missy. But I'm fairly certain if Janet was available, she would have been there 1,000,000%.
For sure.
Yeah. And so that's all happening on the 8th of November. And I have no doubt that Missy Elliott is also going to get a little teary-eyed because she does that when she gets honored. And that it even makes it more special for her fans because she totally appreciates it.
You know what's great about this is that it's not like you can buy your way onto the Walk of Fame technically, but you kind of can. Like it costs a certain amount of money. Mm-hmm. Like Ryan Seacrest is my example of that. And no offense to him, he's created a solid career for himself, but it was way early on that he had his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, like many years ago now. And then you learn that there is a price tag attached to it. Yeah. And a lot of times maybe your management company or your record company or however you are aligned pays that, or you hope they would. But who is going to be paying for Ryan Seacrest's? You know what I mean? So that was a bit of a red flag for me. So at this stage of Missy Elliott's career, this far down the line, and along that long list of credits of hers, you know that it's coming because someone said, "What? This hasn't happened yet? Let's do this." So she is very deserving, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you can actually watch the live stream, which will be walkoffame.com. And again, that's November the 8th. And I should also mention, too, if anybody ever needs to feel uplifted, make sure you're following Missy Elliott on social media because she oftentimes, I want to say at least once a week, if not more, puts out these really great, and it's her that's writing them, messages to her fans like, if you need this today, don't, you're headed in the right path, give it all you got, like all these amazing, and like also about following your dreams and not letting anything get you down, just like, and I've often read it sometimes on the day I needed to read it. And so I just love that she's so positive and wants the best for her fans, and also is so appreciative of everything they give back to her. So she is a complete class act. And I think Katy Perry did the best thing ever when she had her on the Super Bowl with her halftime show, which I think was 2015. I can't believe it's already that long ago, but I'm pretty sure.
Holy moly.
I just watched that show, that performance last weekend, and it was incredible.
Oh, amazing.
It's you can tell genuine too, eh?
It was amazing.
When the Super Bowl started doing that, pairing of artists like that next leveled the experience.
Yeah,
I think.
Exactly. And I forget the percentage, but when Missy did that performance, her album sales and single sales went Banana Town. Because
Banana Town, where exactly is that, Kel?
South of the equator. Anyways,
below the belt.
Below the belt. But yeah, because there was a whole like legion of audience members that might not have known her, because she hadn't really been, I think she'd been out of the scene for a little while because she did have health issues for several years. So this just reintroduced her to the public, and honest to God, her percentages just went crazy on like all the streaming platforms and album sales and all that stuff. So,
well, like I cut Adam off before. What I was saying is that you can tell genuine. You can't fake genuine, and she's got it. No question about that.
Yeah.
No question. And elsewhere in the genuine department is the level of difficulty for Kelly's trivia. Let's see how that plays out.
Let's give it a try. Whoop, look at me pressing the wrong buttons. Here we go. Let's give it a try.
90s. Now, trivia.
Bing bong.
Bing
and
bong.
I should mention, because you said, look at me pressing the wrong button. Not everybody's looking at you, Adam, because we have our audio listeners, of course. So a big shout out, of course, to all of our audio listeners that are picking us up on all the major podcast platforms like Stitcher.com and Apple and Google Play. And aren't we on we're on Spotify too, aren't we, Adam? I think so.
We are on Spotify.
We are everywhere.
To all of you guys, hear this awkward silence as I press the wrong button.
Yeah, exactly. And don't forget too that we are, of course, now are the visual podcast as well. So you can watch us if you haven't seen our lovely mugs yet, the Faces for Radio, on youtube.com/Kelly Alexander Show. So and then that's the 90s Now playlist, which is right there for you. All right. So question number 1. I worry for the both of you on this one. So we'll see. In Being John Malkovich, which floor does Craig live on, or work on, I should say?
Sorry, can I hear that question again?
In Being John Malkovich, which floor does Craig work on?
That's specific, man.
I wouldn't know that.
Which should give you like an inkling as to what floor you should be picking.
Sharon.
Can I guess what you're gonna say?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that you're gonna say 13.
That's what I was gonna say.
I would knee jerk on that, but it's a half floor. Isn't it like 7.5 or something?
Boom! Way to go, Sharon. You got it. Good for you.
I've seen the movie, but like a zillion years ago.
Okay.
And it's just so good. Like it's such a cool movie.
I knew it was cool, but I've never seen it. Adam, have you seen it?
I think I've started it, and somehow my apologies, fell asleep during.
Well, it's one of those movies that you're sort of like, you have to, I don't know, you have to kind of know something.
The moon to watch it. You're just
it's
not going to play it. And it was late at night, and it was not the perfect setting to watch.
It might not be a late at night movie. It might be, need a little bit of an attention span for it, but it's so worth it if you maybe watch it in the morning.
I'll give it a try next time.
Very nice. Before we move on to second question, just because we're talking about watching things, I just quickly wanted to ask you how we're all doing with the morning show season 2.
It's on pause for me.
Okay.
I am we are, how many episodes in are we? 2 maybe.
Okay.
But I enjoyed a lot.
It's very good. Yeah. I was behind you guys because I hadn't caught up, but then my better half was able to hook us up with the Apple Plus. And so now I'm caught up to I think it's episode 5 or 6 now that they're at. And it's delicious all over again.
It's so good. Do you guys watch Succession?
Pardon?
You watch Succession?
For
that's going to be my next thing, but I'm actually currently addicted. And I do mean that. It's my downtime thing. Billions with Damian Lewis.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Have you seen it?
I've seen some of it as well. Yeah.
It's so crazy town. I'm into that. And that's why I think Succession will be next.
And for for all listeners, visual and audio, Crazy Town and Banana Town are adjacent cities.
Yes, they
adjacent states of mind.
They share the same mayor. Yeah,
and it's Kelly.
Yeah. All right. Question number 2: in what year were S Club 7 formed?
Adam.
Sharon. Oh,
Oh,
you
that
take
was
it.
close. Could go
You
down.
take it, Adam. You're probably
1999.
Ooh, Sharon.
right. I'd like to bet $1. 1996.
98.
Damn it! I was gonna guess 98, but I thought that was like the equivalent of bidding $1 on the
Yeah.
Price is Right. Son of
I was a fan of that one song, which I can't even remember the title of it now, but
a
I like.
club. What is that?
I think they had a French version. It was poorly translated to French, but when I was young, couldn't understand English. So I think I've watched some of it, but the French traduction.
Okay, very
Isn't
good.
that incredible? Like I can sense a French accent on you, but like it's like a hint. So for and you're not you're not an old guy, but you're not a kid, but it's not been a long time since you were a kid. And so to think that you couldn't.
For me, it was a lot of, watching some English television when I was younger. And, on Sundays we'd have to speak English. And whenever we'd go out to the movies, it would have to be in English. And there was a lot of crying and a lot of shouting and a lot of me not wanting to do English stuff and watching and listening to English stuff. But I guess it paid out, right?
Yes, you're here on this show.
Yeah.
And that all happened in the late 90s.
Incredible. So Will Smith is doing another venture with YouTube, and the end result will likely have him looking really good, but more importantly, have him feeling really good, because that's the importance of fitness and a commitment to a better regime, a daily routine, let's say. And he's got a new series. It's called Best Shape of My Life, that documents his fitness journey. And again, fitness of body and of mind. And the promo note describes it this way. It says, what starts as a docu-follow about Will's desire to go from the worst shape of his life to a new movie star, evolved into a deeper, darker, and more profound journey into Will's psyche, end quote. Now, the thing that's getting a lot of people's attention is the clip that they're using, which is an obvious, attention grabber, and it's worked, because the quote is, that was the only time in my life that I ever considered suicide. So that's the quote that's making the rounds, and kind of like a bomb drop, because now you're like, what? This big superstar thought that? So it's an important bomb drop, but the context or anything that substantiates it will obviously be found in the 5-part docu-series on YouTube, which by the time of this show airing will be just a couple of days away on November 8th. What do you think about that, you guys? Will Smith.
I think that I think it's interesting in many different regards, but also firstly, I think with the fact that everybody thinks Will Smith is Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky for the most part, like that's the persona he's put out. And I do think that's legitimately who he is. He always seems like in a good mood and a positive vibe. But I think it's really important for people to know that not everyone can always be that way. Like everybody has a roller coaster ride in your life, mental health, physical health, all that kind of stuff. So I think it's important for people to know that he went through it and he's out the other side, and that, hopefully if you or yourself are going through something like that, like take it as inspiration that, get the right help, ask for what you need, and try to take care of yourself.
Yeah, there are resources available, certainly in your area. No question about that. And it's like Kelly was saying, if you find that you have some kind of an alignment with Will Smith and what he's saying in that clip, or even the need to do something to improve your own situation, you have to reach out. And of course, people, if you have people in your life that you're concerned with, you have to check in with them too. So
yeah. Adam, are you a fan of Will Smith?
I'm a fan of Will Smith. I'm not a fan of using such quotes as an attention grabber out of context. That really bugs me. And I don't want to take away from what he felt and what, he's gone through, but just out of context like this.
Yeah. It's a grab.
It's a grab. And
it's clickbait for sure.
It's clickbait. And I think I don't want to say it's offensive because I don't want to say it's not because it's clickbait that he didn't felt that way.
No. But they're using it to promote the show.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of not insulting to those who really have to go through that because maybe he did go through all of this, but I don't know. I just gotta. rubs me the wrong way, but
yeah,
I'll
well,
watch
they're
it.
for sure exploiting, because he's obviously going to explain his situation in the doc, and then we'll get his words. But they did, as producers or editors and producers, decide, oh, that's good, and they probably thought, like, everybody thinks Will Smith is happy-go-lucky, this will be a big shocker.
Yeah,
so
which it is, but
for sure
a bit out of taste in my opinion.
Yep, I think you're right.
Thank you.
To our audio listeners, you might hear the familiar sounds of a grumbling in the background. It's not my stomach making that sound. It's one of my baby dogs that is kind of like a toddler. And if I'm doing something else other than paying attention to him, he treats it like it's
personal,
like I'll get her now because she'll give me treats now. So I have unloaded the treats, and he is not adhering to his end of the deal. So that's for our audio listeners. For our visual audience that are seeing me turn to the left of the camera and go, stop it. That's what I'm doing. Just trying to parent my dog. Now, elsewhere in the world of improvement, talked about a band of 4 guys that are rooted to San Francisco. Basically, if you're looking to improve yourself within your band with a masterclass, then have we got a masterclass for you?
Oh yeah,
Metallica. Have you guys seen the promo for that thing? I'm like, I want to join Metallica or my own band or whatever, but I think they could be able to tell me how to do it.
Every time I see those trailers for those master classes, it looks amazing. It's like, oh, I wanna do it.
I want to be a
super
poet.
Interesting. Yeah.
I want to be a scientist now.
I want to be a music producer. I want to be a musician. I want to be
It's such an interesting fly on the wall opportunity for people to experience, and it doesn't come cheap, that's for sure, or it doesn't come free. But I guess if you put some value on that as something that can help you move forward in your career, then great. Metallica is more than 40 years in and counting, so they're not like just waxing nostalgic about how they've grown and made music. They are actively growing as humans, actively making music as a band, which certainly qualifies them to kind of lay it all out there, and for fans or young rockers to learn from the very best. And again, these guys have been working hard, kind of hit the ground running kind of thing from young guys, dealing with the excesses that come from those successes, eventual gigantic success, which had kind of a turn in their tides with their hardcore fans for the selling out. That's always struck me as funny, because once you hit it big and have great big success with an album, you would want that for your favorite band to like make some money doing this and not have to live in a van, but anyways. So it's been 30 years since their big sellout album, the self-titled Metallica Black Album. But again, they've dealt with loss, they've dealt with addiction, and as a unit of 4 moving parts, they've stumbled together as young adults and come into these masterclass teachers. So this would be certainly the band to learn from. I
love that they've been able to keep going, especially knowing that after they lost their initial or original band member, and then they brought in the new band member, the new bassist, Jason, and then that went on for X amount of years, and then he left, and now Robert has just filled the hole, like in a different way, but like extremely well. And like for fans of the band, I mean, I think obviously you noticed the 3 changes, but it's not like you're like, it's not the same. Like where I think some other bands you might be more like, it's just not the same. I don't find that happens with Metallica. I don't feel like that's a thing for them to have to deal with.
I think it's because they have shared their evolution with us all this time. And even the, I cannot remember the name of the movie in this moment.
The documentary, is it the documentary movie?
Yeah. Which sort of explains where
1 or 2003 it came out. Adam, can you quickly look for that?
I'm totally blanking.
Me too. I'm totally blanking. But
I saw it in theaters too, which was super cool.
Oh, you saw it in theater. I think I watched it on YouTube or something because
it's so good.
Yeah.
But you can see that.
So is it Metallica, some kind of monster?
Yeah.
The 2004.
Yeah. Just the idea that they explained where Jason Newsted's entry with the band, where the rest of them were still not fully having grieved the loss of Cliff Burton, their original bass player. And, you know, the substance abuse, I guess. And, you know, shelving your emotions, I think is that part. I think what we've seen in the promo for the masterclass is them talking about dealing with stuff, talking about stuff, recognizing other people's behavioral patterns, and oh, that's what they do when they mean this, and oh, I mean, it's just like it's a human venture for sure, but you can't forget that when you're in a band with other humans.
And it's cool that they're not protective of those secrets. You know how to.
I like that.
All the success they've had, they could go like, well, we've figured it out. We're happy about it. You go and do your own thing, right? And you figure it out yourself. And, you know, they're opening the doors to their secrets and everything, and it's super cool. I want to study that masterclass.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Have either of you seen any of the masterclasses?
No, but it's been really bugging me for a few months, years, whenever I see one of
we got it last year because Elaine, the better half, decided to get it for her mother as a gift. So there was like some kind of, I think, Christmas special thing where if you buy 2 subscriptions, like it was a bit less.
Yep.
I think it was still 200 and something like per subscription or whatever.
Yeah.
So we've watched, I actually haven't watched as many as I would have liked, but we watched the Timbaland one about being a producer.
Nice.
And what's interesting is, and cool for that's why I wanted to tell you guys this, is that they actually put it in sections. So that's all like, there's a 10-minute block, then maybe 12, then 13, then back to 9. So you're not watching like 6 hours of a masterclass and being like, oh my God, I have so much to go. It's all broken down into little segments.
Do they give like exercises to do, like, oh, here's in theory something you could do to practice whatever theory we've studied? Or
I don't think they put anything up on screen, because I've literally only watched 2 of them, which was Timbaland and then a guide just the other day on how to negotiate and how to deal with like if you have to, and he's actually an FBI negotiator, which is crazy.
Wow.
Nice.
So when I watched his, I didn't watch all of it, but I watched about 3 of his blocks, like his segments, and he gives you verbal examples, and then it's nothing like that comes up on screen and goes try this now or whatever, but it's all like you could be taking notes though and be like, oh, like he did this and he did that. And Elaine's mom was totally into it, watched all the cooking one, like there was a cooking one, I think with Gordon Ramsay, I think.
Ooh, nice.
And she's watched at least 7 or 8 of these things, if not more at this point. And it's just really cool because you can do bite-sized bits. Like if you just want to watch 2 of them and then you take a break, because with Timbaland, it actually was so intense that I needed to take a break because he's literally showing you how he beatboxes and how his beats start. And it's like, I'm like, and then you're learning all of like his producers, how they do all their keyboard work. Like it was really cool. So
nice.
Timbaland, by the way, if anybody's wondering, is the real deal.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I might do a masterclass now.
You should, Sharon.
So talk about Scottie Pippen.
He should do a masterclass.
Yeah, he should. Talking about how he felt about the acknowledgement that he and his teammates got during the Last Dance series, which is very secondary, not much acknowledgement at all. And he's got a new memoir called Unguarded, where he spills some emotional tea, and it might come off as sour grapes, but you really can't blame him because obviously he's not happy about the way the series depicted the rest of the Chicago Bulls as supporting cast members to the great Michael Jordan. And there's no doubt about the greatness of Michael Jordan, that's for sure. But since MJ had final editorial call on the series, Scottie Pippen sort of indicates that he felt condescended and demeaned all over again, which kind of indicates how they felt the first time around, how the press dealt with them, how they, it was all Michael Jordan when they won. It was all everybody else's fault when they didn't win. And the fact that Michael Jordan got $10 million and the rest of them got, nothing for that docuseries, probably has another real, like a thorn in his
he's
side.
going through a breakup all over again.
Well, yeah. And what he said, one of the things he said Quote, from one season to the next, we received little or no credit whenever we won, but the bulk of the criticism when we lost. And when it came down to talking about the $10 million price tag for Michael Jordan, he said, Scottie Pippen said, it's, quote, another reminder of the pecking order from the old days. For an entire season, we allowed cameras into the sanctity of our locker rooms, our practices, our hotels, our huddles, our lives, end quote. So that's a nice clickbait right there for you to get the book called Unguarded. Get it for yourself, get it for the sports fan on your gift list this year. There's a segue coming.
There is.
Gift list. Is that a book you'd read, Kel? Unguarded?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I'm actually a massive Scottie Pippen fan. And the funny thing is back in the 90s when they were on that tear of winning all those championships, I absolutely despise the Chicago Bulls because I'm a massive Los Angeles Lakers fan. So I used to get into all these battles with like some of my friends because a lot of my friends here in Montreal, of course, were huge Chicago fans like you just were. And they had all those like starter jackets, you know, with like, that was the deal, right? In the 90s. But it's funny, as much as I despise the Bulls, I always had an affinity for Scottie Pippen. I always thought he was the coolest.
Super chill.
And I always felt like he was never being able to shine the way he could have like shone, because of the situation he was in. But also then you see as well that like they were such a dynamic duo, you know, but I felt bad that he never got the recognition that I think he deserved.
Yeah. And it wasn't you know, for lack of anything he did, he played well.
Yeah.
And that's what he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about Christmas gift lists, we can put Mariah Carey in your ear again. And is she a fan of Smashing Pumpkins? Probably not the band. And that's maybe she is a huge fan of the band. But what we know for sure from a teaser video that she released just days ago is that she took a sparkly bat to some jack-o'-lanterns and smashed them. And it's kind of like, let's go. Mariah season is going to start. So what we know is that we're getting another holiday, no doubt, hit from the force behind All I Want for Christmas Is You. We're going to start hearing that song soon. And this time she's worked with, is it, all I have is DJ Khalid in my head. Is it Khalid or Khalid?
Khalid.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. And gospel great Kirk Franklin.
Yeah.
Fall in Love at Christmas.
Oh,
that's a huge lineup. I love it. It's going to be
no
great.
Kidding.
And I wanted to get both of your opinions on this because Mariah Carey, as we know, since that album came out in 94, the Christmas album, everybody's gone bananas in it, you know, every year that song. But I feel like over the last, I want to say 5 or 6 years, and even though, again, like every Christmas, All I Want for Christmas Is You is the big deal. But I find like the last 5 or 6 years, maybe 7, she really has gone next level in the public's mind about really being Queen Christmas. Like she's really worked that angle even more so in the last 5 or 6 years than she did, you know, maybe in the early 2000s or from what I remember. Because she legit now, everybody waits for like October 31st to finish and be like, what's Mariah going to do now? And she always, like the last several years, especially with the her being able to use social media so well, she always has these little teaser videos or whatever she does to really up the volume on her queendom of Christmas. So
well, maybe she realized royalties do pay kind of a lot of money.
Well, Sharon and I have talked about this before. She for sure could live off that one song alone
easily
for the rest of her life.
Easily. So. It's such a great song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My gosh. Can't wait. And that's funny. Like I'm interested in hearing the new song, but I can't wait to start hearing All I Want for Christmas Is You. Hey, let's do a 90s rewind and go back to that time when we first started hearing MC's Christmas classic. Whoa.
Whoa.
I know. I hope you were buckled up for that. 1994. And you know what? Mariah already had a hit on her hands with Luther Vandross and their cover of Endless Love. Bon Jovi's Always made all the fans happy. All of them. Every single one of them. And you know what? The top 5 from around this time in 1994 is like a great little snapshot of 1994. Madonna's Secret. Ini Kamoze, Here Comes the Hot Step, Murderer. Real McCoy and Another Night.
Yep.
Sheryl Crow, All I Want to Do
is Have Some Fun.
Exactly. Like that was the first song we would have heard from her. Do you remember the name of the album?
I do not.
Tuesday Night Supper Club? No.
Say it again.
Are we talking about Sheryl Crow?
Yes.
Yeah, Tuesday Night Supper Club.
Close.
Mm.
Tuesday Night Music Club.
Oh, right.
No.
Close by one word. The most important word. Yes.
She sings with her mouth full on All I Want to Do Is Have More Soup. Boys to Men were at number one with the it's one of those songs that I think this many years later you sort of think it's such a, you remember it as a pretty ballad kind of song, but it was like kind of forceful yet soft. It was kind of direct yet still harmonious, but a power ballad. And I'll make love to you. Okay.
We're down, boys.
Then. That was a number one song around this time in 1994. And that is your 90s rewind.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Gosh.
Before you wrap things up, the big showgram, Sharon, I want to remind all of our audio listeners and our visual listeners that we are having such a great time on our social media these days with TikTok. And also with Instagram, and our Facebook page is back up and rocking too. So definitely check them out at 90s Now FM, and make sure to see Sharon's recent video about horror movies. No, it was Candy? Was it horror movies?
Candy. Yeah.
Candy.
Have we posted our Macarena video yet?
We have not. So thanks for spoiling the surprise.
Well, now you have something to look up to.
Yeah. Wait till you see that bad boy in action.
It's going to be, we're just trying to have some fun, just like the 90s did, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Macarena. Anyways, that was Kelly's Christmas gift. Way to go, Adam. Thank you guys for listening, for finding us wherever you do. If you found us on YouTube, thanks. We're right here. If you found us anywhere else and you've been listening as long as you have, this has been season 10, show 9. That's right. Season 10. Holy cannoli. Thank you, like I said, for finding us wherever it is that you do. We appreciate that you are listening to 90s Now. Still happening.